All right, guys, so we have some leaks here that show what the U.S. plan is vis-a-vis Ukraine and Russia, and it's not pretty. This is in The Independent. U.S. and Russia suggest West Bank-style occupation of Ukraine. Russia would have both economic and military control of the occupied parts of Ukraine under the proposal. That is wonderful, isn't it? Imagine looking at anything related to Israel-Palestine and saying, that's a model. Let's copy that. Let's do that. That's the craziest shit I've ever heard. This is like one of the, if not the number one conflict in the world. And you're going, that's a model. We should create another conflict that's going to eventually boil over and spill over and get worse and worse day by day and lead to human rights atrocities and lead to genocide. And, like, what are we talking about here? But this is what was floated. So in other words, Putin has already taken over these large swaths in Ukraine. And the idea is, well, yeah, let him have control of those, but still in name, it will be Ukrainian territory. So this way, Trump can go back to the U.S. and say, we didn't give up anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Ukraine is still fully intact. I don't know what you're talking about. But in reality, you have Putin effectively occupying illegally Ukraine and building there, and everybody would have to get used to this horrific state of affairs where you're perpetually in limbo and perpetually making everybody gets more and more pissed off with each other over time because there is no justice with a deal like this. It's only like, hey, let's borrow time until the next explosion, until the next outbreak of violence. That's what we're talking about. So here's what they say. The U.S. and Russia are set to suggest a West Bank-style occupation of Ukraine as a way of ending the war, according to the London Times. Under the proposed plans, Russia would have both economic and military control of the occupied parts of Ukraine, utilizing its own governing body, mimicking Israel's control of the Palestinian territory taken from Jordan during the 1967 conflict. The suggestion was put forward during discussions between President Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff and his Russian counterparts. A source with insight into the U.S. National Security Council told the paper. They continue here. Witkoff, who also serves as the White House Middle East envoy, reportedly backs the suggestion, which the U.S. believes will resolve the issue of the Ukrainian constitution prohibiting giving up territory without organizing a referendum. While Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has rejected any notion of ceding territory, the new occupation proposal may lead to a truce following Israel's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, which began in February 2022. On what fucking planet would Zelensky look at that and go, I'm on board? Why would he do that? I mean, this is crazy. What we're talking about here is absolute insanity, bro. And also, just the idea that they think this would be enough for Putin, too. This is not going to be enough for him, which is why they had the summit, and what happened? Nothing came out of it, because he's more absolutist in what his goals are. He's not bending. He thinks, I'm winning this war, and the longer it goes on, the more likely I am to win the thing on exactly my terms. And so he's not going to bend a fucking inch. If he wanted peace, he could deliver peace today, but he's the aggressor. He's the one who started it. Right? So he has no interest in it whatsoever. According to the proposal, Ukraine's borders would remain officially unchanged, similar to the borders of the West Bank, even as Israel controls the territory. Quote, it'll just be like Israel occupies the West Bank, the source told the Times. Holy shit. They're just saying it. They're just saying the quiet part loud. With a governor with an economic situation that goes into Russia, not Ukraine, but it'll still be Ukraine because Ukraine will never give up its sovereignty. But the reality is it'll be occupied territory and the model is Palestine. Oh my God. Look at where the logic of all of that leads. Like right now, Gaza is being obliterated. People are being mass murdered. Israel is going to reoccupy all of it and steal all of it. In the West Bank, they've effectively already seized control of the entire West Bank. They're annexing the entire West Bank. We're looking at a historic atrocity. And Trump's solution in Ukraine is let's plant the seeds of a future historic atrocity. I am floored by this. I'm absolutely floored by this. The proposal will almost certainly be part of discussions between Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin set for Friday in Alaska. On Wednesday, Zelensky met with European leaders and Trump ahead of the Russia summit. Zelensky is not set to attend Friday's summit in person. Trump reaffirmed during the Wednesday meeting that territorial issues can only be negotiated between Russia and Ukraine. That's not true. I don't believe that for a second. He definitely was offering things. Any issue which deals with the territorial integrity of Ukraine cannot be discussed just like that without looking at our Constitution and the will of our people, Zelensky told the press on Friday. As to our principles, as to our territorial integrity, in the end, will be decided on the level of leaders. Without Ukraine at the table, it's impossible to achieve, Zelensky added. So stop and think about this. You're Zelensky, and Trump came in, and he said, you need to give me 50% of all of your natural resources, 50% of your ports. So we're basically going to economically colonize you and shake you down on a daily basis from now until forever. And Zelensky agrees to that in return for continued military support. Okay, so he felt basically forced, but he took the deal. And then the same person that offered you that deal now turns around and is saying, we're going to let Russia occupy you like Israel occupies the West Bank, which is Palestinian territory. I would be beyond furious, bro. And this, look, it just shows you can't make a deal with the devil. And let's call it what it is. The U.S. government right now is the fucking devil. And you can't make a deal with them. Because they'll stab you in the back 15 ways to Sunday. This is a betrayal. This is as big of a betrayal as you can get. And this is what people are realizing, which is why they're now working around the U.S., is that you can't take us at our word. Trump negotiated a trade deal with Canada, and then when he gets back in office, he goes, who negotiated this trade deal with Canada? We're going to throw this out. Let's throw this out. Let's do tariffs on Canada instead. And this happened with everything. It happened with the Paris Climate Agreement. It happened with the Iran Agreement. It happened with 47 other agreements. And so now the world looks at that and goes, the Americans can't be trusted, so let's not deal with them. And now he's put Ukraine in a very similar position. So, I mean, it is just disturbing what we're witnessing here. And it's just, he has no clue what the fuck he's doing. He has no clue what he's doing. Because he's so deeply transactional, and he's also a complete and total fucking idiot. So it didn't even occur to him that, hey, since you made that deal with Ukraine, and you're taking basically half their shit forever, that you can't offer something like this. The whole deal was that you wouldn't offer something like this. Right? But here we are. So contradictory, incompetent, stupid, dangerous, every negative word you could think of, that's what this has been so far. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.